So today we're going to go ahead and work on solving multi-step equations, and these are our notes for them. So step one is we're going to box the variables and draw the lines down the equal sign, just as we've done before. We're going to go ahead and find any like terms and take the symbol in front of it to combine it. And then we're going to either add or subtract our like terms. We're also going to box our variables. You should only have one box by then, one variable at that point. And then you're going to go ahead and get the number that is not with the variable by adding or subtracting. And we're going to go ahead and then multiply or divide to get our variable by itself. So our first problem is 7n minus 1 minus 2n equals 14. So I have my n right here. I also have an n right there. So I know I'm going to go ahead and have to combine those. Okay. So one thing I need to make sure I do is I take these symbols in front of my variables. So I have 7n, there's nothing there, so that's a positive. And then I have my 2n, and I have a subtraction symbol in front of there. So that's the symbol that I'm going to go ahead and take when I combine them. So I'm going to go ahead and do 7n minus 2n is going to equal 5n. Bring down my minus 1, keeping the symbol that's in front of it, and then we'll bring down my 14. Okay. Now I have one variable. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I box that, make sure that's all I have. Then I can go ahead and add 1 to both sides. Finish me with 5n, and then 14 plus 1 is 15. I'm going to have a multiplication here, so I'm going to divide my 5. Go ahead and do it to both sides. I get n is equal to 3. So go ahead and check and see if it's correct. I'm going to put it into my original problem. So 7 times 3 minus 1 minus 2 times 3. And so I go ahead and do order of operations. 7 times 3 is 21 minus 1 minus 2 times 3. Continue order of operations, I have another multiplication. So 21 minus 1 minus 6. And then I can go ahead and do 21 minus 1 is 20. And then 20 minus 6 is 14. 14 is my answer, and it matches there. So let's check if it's correct. Our next one, 10x minus 11 minus 4x equals 43. So I have two sets of variables. I have two x's there. Okay. So I have 10x, it's a positive. And then I have minus 4x, so I'm going to be doing 10x minus 4x, which is, I'll draw this first, which is 6x. And then I bring down my 11, which is minus 11. Bring down my 43. I'm going to go ahead and now add 11. Okay, and those cancel each other out, so now I have 6x, and then I have 54 over there. I have a multiplication, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 6 by both sides. And I get x is equal to 9, because 6 goes into 54 9 times. So let's go ahead and check it. We'll go ahead and put 9 into my original problem. So I have 10 times 9 minus 11. And then I have minus 4x, so minus 4 times 9. Go ahead and follow order of operations. 10 times 9 is 90. Then I have another multiplication, so I'm going to bring down these. And 4 times 9 is 36. It is still subtraction. And I have 90 minus 11 is 79. And minus 36. 79 minus 36 is 43, so yes, it does match. That works. Then I have next one, negative 2 times 5 plus 6c plus 16 equals negative 90. So I'm going to go ahead and box my variables. I actually only have one c there. Okay. I notice I have parentheses, so I'm going to have to use my distributive property. So I do, making sure I use the symbol in front with the 2. So negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Then I have negative 2 times plus 6 would be our minus or negative 12c. And then I bring down my plus 16. Okay. Now I go ahead and combine my like terms. In this case I do not have another c, but I do have two numbers here that I can go ahead and combine. I'm going to go ahead and combine negative 10 plus 16, taking the symbols that are in front. So negative 10 plus 16 is a positive 6, and then I bring down my minus 12c here, bring down my negative 90. Now I can go ahead and get just my c on one side, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my 6. So it's a positive 6, so I have to subtract it by 6. Okay, that leaves my negative 12c. And then I have negative 90 minus 6, so it's, again, we have negative 90. Let's do it where you can see it. We have our, do it over here, we have negative 90 minus 6, so I'm adding a negative, so that is negative 96. I'm going to go ahead and divide negative 12, because I'm multiplying by it. So I'll divide negative 12 by both sides, leaving my c alone. And then negative 96 divided by negative 12, 12 goes into 96 8 times. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, so c is equal to 8. So I just did a lot of steps there. I could have easily made an error, so I want to go ahead and back and check and make sure that 8 will be my correct answer. So I go ahead and do negative 2, and then 5 plus 6, and then my c is equal to 8 plus 16. So I can go ahead and do my multiplication inside the parentheses first. So I have negative 2, and then I have 5 plus 6 times 8 is 48. Go ahead and continue to solve what's inside the parentheses. There's no need to distribute it yet. So again, I have negative 2, and then 5 plus 48 is 53, plus 16. And I can do 2 times 53, and it is a negative. So 2 times 53 is 106. It's a negative times a positive, so it is a negative answer. So negative 106 plus 16. I have a negative plus a positive, so I'm going to subtract those two numbers, and I get 90 left over. The negative has a greater value, so it is a negative answer. Okay. So my answer is negative 90, and yes, it matches. Negative 90. So you had a few practice problems you need to go ahead and try. Number 1 was 2 times 5x minus 3 equals 14. You should have gotten that x is equal to 2 and then checked it to equal 14. And then number 2 is m plus 2m minus 4 equals 14. You should go ahead and find that m is equal to 6, and then once you enter in 6, you get equal to 14.